The inner dimension, insight into the weekly Torah portion, Parshas VAYIGASH. This is by Rabbi YITZCHAK GINSBURGH. Parshas VAYIGASH, the secret of tears. There are several types of weeping. The most profound form results in revealing a mystery. The story of Joseph and his brothers reaches its climax in the Torah portion of VAYIGASH. Judah approached Joseph and surrendered himself as a servant in place of Benjamin so that Benjamin could return to their father unharmed. Seeing Judah's dedication to protecting Benjamin and his remorse for wishing harm to harm Joseph many years ago, Joseph was overcome with emotion and unable to contain his tears. He wept before his brothers, saying, "I am Joseph. Is my father still alive?" Joseph's revelation to his brothers was accompanied by weeping. This is not the first time that we read of Joseph weeping, nor the last. A few verses later we read how Joseph fell upon Benjamin's neck and wept, and Benjamin wept upon his neck. And he kissed all his brothers and wept upon them. All in all, the verb "and he wept," vayev, appears 7 times in the Torah with reference to Joseph. Oh, wow. Vayev appears 7 times in the Torah with reference to Joseph. More than any other biblical figure. In Egypt, Joseph was famed for his great wisdom. He governed the land and its people with the same restraint with which he controlled his own inclinations. One might imagine that such a wise and influential man would be stern and unsympathetic. Yet here it becomes clear that Joseph could be deeply emotional. In general, he controlled his emotions, directing them with restraint, but he was by no means cold or removed. Is weeping merely a release of pent-up emotion, or does it signify something more? The first weepers. As with any concept that we meditate upon in depth, to discover the real meaning of tears, we need to analyze every phenomenon of weeping in the Torah. Beginning with the first instance. Hagar, Sarah's handmaiden, was the first to weep in the Torah. Banished from Abraham's household, she wandered through the wilderness with her son, Ishmael. After their water supply was drained, she left the child in her bush and walked away to avoid seeing his inevitable death. As the tragic moment approached, she raised her voice and wept. Hagar's weeping was an expression of her despair. The Torah's inner dimension explains that the impure husks thrive on depression and tears, whereas holiness has an affinity to those who serve God with joy. The first appearance of many phenomena in the Torah is often negative and unrefined. This is true in the case of Hagar's weeping too.